Hello and welcome to Warcraft Daily for today, the 9th of October 2013. So in today's news we have LFR Wing 3, new connected realms, some blue tweets, and a little bit of strangeness going on with rated battleground ratings. So first of all, LFR Wing 3 is coming out. It's called the Underhold, and it contains Malkorok, the Spoils of Pandaria, and Throk the Bloodthirsty. There are full guides on my channel. Now, it seems like Malkorok is going to be the hardest boss for most groups because of people being absolute, well, idiots. So that's one thing. Spoils of Pandaria is weird. Depending on like the group's preparation beforehand, it should be an easy kill. And Throk the Bloodthirsty, really, it requires minimal thought, and I didn't think it was too hard. So yeah, we'll see. Hopefully the guides help you out. Now, next up, there are more connected realms coming in. They are continuing the rollout with this time being Skullcrusher and Black Dragonflight. Right now, they're rolling these out at a pretty slow pace, but they did say that each time they roll out some of these initial servers, they're testing, I guess more rigorously testing parts of their system, so that soon they'll be able to roll them out extremely fast, which would be fantastic. Get as many realms connected as possible. I can't wait until my realm gets connected. I'd like for zones to be a little bit more full. And also not be full with CRZ people, actually be full with people that I'll be playing with on the realm. That seems more interesting to me. So for blue tweets, they said that each LFR tier has a finite lifespan, so they're actually quite happy about people getting gear quick. Drop rates were increased, and I think it was by about 10%. Now, yeah, 10%? I mean, on the scheme of things, 10% is... I think a lot of people will not really see that difference. Perhaps over 4 weeks, they will have had more gear, but I don't really think it's enough of an increase for people to actually notice, which is a little bit of a problem because this whole gear thing is partially a perception issue as well. Because, like, people will... Any bad luck that people get will be far more poignant in their head than good luck will be, so it sort of inflates the whole problem, and I think they're probably right just to sneak in at 10% and keep on doing little tweaks like that until they get it right. But still, I think that there should be some way for guaranteed peace. That said, I suppose if you're an LFR raider and you're using 3 coins and killing like every boss every week, then I suppose you will be getting quite a lot of gear. Still, it's not really something I can talk about massively because it's not a system that I really partake in, bar getting footage to get guides. That said, I can say today I did not get a single drop off any of the bosses. How about, I think the way that the coins work is that the drop chance increases as you get more fails with your coin, so perhaps they could do the same with bosses. However, there would be a little bit of a risk that people would then start trying to skip out on bosses because, say, they had lost a lot of loot, and now their chance was really high, so they didn't want to get a drop they didn't want, if you know what I mean. It's a bit of an odd thing, and it's just the way RNG works. I think the problem is LFR is really a gear thing, as well as seeing the content. For repeat visits, it's a gear thing. Whereas in other forms of raiding, you do have repeating for gear, but you also have repeating for the social interaction, which is usually enough to compensate for not getting gear. Whereas in LFR, if you spend 4 hours, or not 4 hours, what am I talking about, like 2 hours, and you don't get any gear, you're gonna feel burned, and you're probably right to, because that doesn't really respect your time. Now, they also said that they have considered personal rewards for doing boss mechanics well, and I actually think this would be a really awesome system. So if you, say, do a boss mechanic properly, then you get something cool. Now, they did say this would be an extremely hard thing to design, and they'd have to be very clever. It could definitely lead to some, like, abuse and people just not really going with the spirit of the system. However, I think for some specific mechanics, such as times when everyone in the raid is supposed to stack up in a thing or something like that, that this would be very nice for just giving people a bit of a kick in the right direction. And even if people aren't initially doing it for the right reason, it does get them into the way of doing things. It's a nice little educational tool, even if it's not massive. Say it's like, oh, I don't know, 50 gold, 30 gold, just a thing, I suppose. That said, is 30 gold even enough these days to get people to do something? I don't think so. Kind of hard to do. Now for Flex, they said that it's actually a design goal, finally, well, a long-term design goal, that for Flex, loot should actually be tradable within the group. I think this is fair enough, actually, and it makes sense, so yeah, good stuff. And also they said that Flex is currently as popular, if not slightly more popular than normal, and is growing to the point where they can actually see it being quite a bit more popular than normal. So essentially, I think this is just going to make sense. It'll be a pyramid sort of scheme, and when I say pyramid, I'd say you'll have the highest participation in Flex, then normal, then heroic. The thing is with LFR though, I think it could be possible that eventually Flex will overtake LFR because of pugging and stuff like that. especially if they have an in-game version of OQ or some sort of group acquisition tool. So I think it could be good, and Flex has just got so much potential. It's really great for the game. At the end of the day, when Warcraft was at its most popular in Wrath of the Lich King, we did have the Flex system. It was called 10 normal, so this is good. This is just really good for the game. And finally, to top off the news, we have rated battleground shit. So pretty much there was a loophole in which a whole bunch of players inflated their rating. To combat this, everyone is being normalized down to a rating of 2200, and apparently even legitimate players who were playing against people who were doing this were getting their rating inflated or something weird, so they're just doing a broad stroke to everyone. Now, they can of course detect what accounts have been using this loophole substantially, and they'll find a much larger hit. I don't think there'll be any suspensions or anything like that, but just a significant hit to their battleground rating. I suppose that's fair enough. But anyway, that's it for today's news. The main thing for today is all the different guides. Go watch them, like them, and all that shit, because it helps me out. And yeah, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.